Hi, welcome to another episode of Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. First up today, Tammy has for us one of our new additions to the cat adoption floor. This is June. She is a senior, and she is incredibly sweet and incredibly loving, but she is not enjoying hanging out on a lap. June is about 8 to 10 years old. She is a brown tabby and white, and I thought for sure that she would be okay sitting on a lap because right away when I greeted her this morning, she came right out of her bed. She came up to the front of her cage and then let me pick her up and just purred the entire time. I carried her from her cage on the adoption floor to the education room, and then when I put her on a lap, whether it was my lap or Tammy's lap, she suddenly decided she didn't like that. So she may be more of the type of cat that you can pick up and cuddle for a few seconds and then she wants you to put her down, or that she's going to sit next to you, but might not be one of those cats that really wants to sit on your lap all the time. And it could also be a number of other factors, like the air vents blow in here, and sometimes that bothers the cats and stuff like that. So she is a cat that is previously owned. However, we don't have a profile from her previous owner, so we're still getting to know her. She's color-coded green, probably because she doesn't like the restraint a little bit there. But in her cage, she's super affectionate, super loving. The volunteers are quickly, gravitating towards her, wanting to get in some cuddle time with her. She is one of our senior pets, so a lot of people bypass the senior pets, especially the ones that are a little overweight, but seniors are great additions to your home. They are going to be a little bit more calm in your household as opposed to a lot of kittens. They generally have some experience living in a home, so they know things like, don't scratch furniture, don't jump on the counter, and what their personalities are going to be. So with June, we know that she likes to be petted and she wants to be around people, and she's excited for that opportunity. The great thing about them as well is that they go home for discounted adoption fees. So as a senior at 8 to 10 years old, we always go with the higher number. So June would go home for a $40 reduction in her adoption fee. So you really can't beat all that you're going to get if you make June part of your family. This handsome guy is one of the many black cats we have on our adoption floor right now. His name is Bombay, and he's about 2 to 3 years old, and he came to us as a stray, so we're still learning things about him. However, one of the things that we did learn relatively quickly is that he really prefers to be an only cat, and that's kind of the lifestyle that he wants to stick to. So if you're looking to just have one pet, or maybe you have some dogs or other pets in the household and you just need one cat to make your house feel like a home, then maybe Bombay would be a good fit for you. He's not the only cat on our adoption floor that fills the need to be the only recipient of your cat affections, because we have Shenzi, who is a female brown tabby, who also really prefers to be the only cat in the household. This guy is a new addition to the adoption floor, as are all of the cats that we're going to be showcasing today. He definitely comes up to the front of the cage looking for attention. He was okay with being, picked up and handled, although, you can definitely tell that he's trying to see what's going on in this room. His tail's got a little twitch to it. He doesn't really know if he wants to get down or whether he wants to lean in and, have Tammy rub him some. So he's still got that young, curious, playful streak to him. As our volunteers and the staff get to know him better, we'll be able to disclose more information. But our Facebook page is a great place to look for information about our adoptable animals, because often our volunteers will go on there and all the adoptable animals have pictures posted there saying, these are the animals that are adoptable. That has basic information. The volunteers write comments about their interactions with the animals, so you can get to know a little bit more about their personalities, things they like and don't like, to help you pick out the best fit for your home and your lifestyle. If you're looking for that cat and you're okay with that's the only cat you're going to be able to have, while he's still with you, then maybe Bombay would be a great fit. Oftentimes the black cats do have a harder time getting adopted just because there are so many to choose from. If you're interested in Bombay, you could adopt him here at Animal Control for a fee of $97.50. Our next guest is kind of hard to miss on the adoption floor. His size makes him definitely a standout. This is Jerry, and he is a handsome guy. He's about 6 to 7 years old, but he does weigh 17 pounds 5 ounces, so he's a big boy. He is one of our overweight cats here in the shelter, and he is currently on a diet. A lot of people don't want to take on cats that need to lose weight. He needs to lose about 3 or 4 pounds, but it's really not as difficult as it might seem. Callie, who's in the kitty cabana, who was one of our really overweight cats, has already lost 4 pounds in the time that she's been here just by regulating what kind of food she has access to, and Jerry has started on a similar diet. We have had people who have adopted some of our seriously overweight cats before, and they've sent us updates, and now they're at a healthy weight, ready to live long, happy, healthy lives. So because Jerry is still relatively young at 6 to 7 years old, like getting the weight off of him will definitely increase his lifespan, which is going to be great for his new owners as well as for Jerry, and help prevent things like arthritis and diabetes and other types of illnesses that can relate from just being unhealthy and overweight. So he definitely needs an owner that's committed to helping with that process. He is an incredibly affectionate cat. He's color-coded orange, which means he's individually average. He likes, attention when he likes it, but he comes right up to greet people. Even, at his size, which can be a little uncomfortable, he was okay with being picked up. He's perfectly content sitting on Tammy's lap. He's kind of just looking around, taking in all of the affection that he's getting, occasionally showing her where he wants to be petted. So he's going to make a great addition to any home. He was previously owned, so he's used to having to living that type of lifestyle. However, we do not have a profile for him. If you're interested in Jerry and you're committed to helping him lose some weight, then you can visit him here at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Because he is a senior at 6 to 7, he would go home for a $20 reduction in his adoption fee. This is Allie, and she is another one of our senior cats. She came in relatively recently, and she's also about 8 to 10 years old. She has the most beautiful green eyes. They really are just bright and so green and very striking. It's definitely something that helps set her apart from all the other cats on the adoption floor. She too is a little bit overweight, so just like all of us, I'm sure could use to lose a few pounds. So is the case with some of our animals on the adoption floor as well. So she needs someone who's going to help her with that. Although she's not needing to lose as much weight as say Jerry. But she's color-coded orange, and that means that she's individually average. She likes attention kind of on her terms, and when she wants to be alone, then she wants to be left alone. What I'm definitely seeing is that she is not a fan of being forced onto a lap, much like June. I actually think they might have come in together. She really wants to have attention and affection. In her cage, she's great. She comes right up to the front. She purrs. She does that thing where she kind of just melts and flops over. But a lot of cats don't want to be, forced to do something that they don't want to do, and it is difficult for them to come out into a new environment with different noises. They're not sure what's going on here when we're doing the show, so initially they try to escape a little bit. But she seems to be settling in a little bit nicer right now, giving Tammy some kisses, doing a little bit of kneading over there. She is very quick to purr. She's a great affectionate cat, and as she came in with other cats, she would be great in a multi-cat household. So if you're looking to add an addition to your home, then she would be a great fit. She has a good temperament, so even if you have small children, she should do relatively well with any type of home situation. Because she is a senior at 8 to 10, we do go with that higher number, so she would go home for a fee of $57.50 if you were to make Allie part of your family. The last cat we have for you today is one that's been with us a little bit longer. This is The Brain, and he came in back in July with his sister Pinky, and they were part of our Frady Cat program. So They were very shy in the shelter, loud noise, everything seemed to scare them. So we have a group of volunteers who are very cat savvy, they're very patient, understanding, and they work with these cats to hopefully help them graduate and become more comfortable, more social, so that they can find loving forever homes. And they, although he's not seemingly showing that right now, they did a great job with both Pinky and the Brain, and they have since graduated from that program. Pinky's actually already been adopted. So now instead of being a purple card fraidy cat, the Brain is just your typical green color-coded kitten. He is a little nervous right now because he's in a new environment, and so even though he's graduated in his kind of environment, we know more about what his personality will be like once he's comfortable. When you're taking him to a new place, you have to expect that he's going to revert a little bit. It's a little bit scary for him. He doesn't know what's going on, so you just have to be patient and understanding and not force things on him. You know, he might need to be in a smaller room in a new home for a little bit of a longer period of time, but once he adjusts and he knows how to trust people, his new people, then he loves to be held, he loves to play, he launches himself out of his cage to be held by the volunteers now. So he's just a very sweet guy. He asks for attention, so that's what you have to look forward to, but you have to deal with the initial, oh, this is kind of scary. A home environment might be a little different. The air vents in this room, as we talk about frequently, are very loud. So it does make a lot of the cats a little bit more uneasy than they would be in a bit of a quieter situation. So if you do have the patience to reintroduce a cat that's a little bit scared to a loving home environment, then maybe the Brain would be a good fit for you. Thank you for tuning in and watching the cat portion of the show. We are happy to announce that we do have more adoptable dogs on the adoption floor now, and after the break we will meet some of those.
Getting your flu vaccine is the best way to prevent getting the flu and possible complications from the flu. People most susceptible to the flu include children 5 years old or younger, people 65 years or older, pregnant women, people with health issues such as asthma, diabetes, and heart disease, and people who take medication that might weaken the immune system. If you have the flu or want to avoid getting the flu, here are some pointers. Cover your cough and sneeze with your arm or use a tissue and wash your hands. Wash your hands with soap and water. If not available, use a hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Avoid being around sick people. Stay home from school or work if you are sick until you are free of a fever for 24 hours. Contact your healthcare provider if you are sick. To learn more about the flu, please call the Health Department Flu Information Line at 301-600-3035 or visit frederickcountymd.gov/flu.
The Frederick Green Homes Challenge is now online. Visit frederickgreenchallenge.org to sign up for a free account and start saving energy, saving money, and reducing your environmental impact. Learn about actions you can take from small to big, like upgrading your light bulbs, using water-saving devices, or installing a renewable energy system. Add actions to your to-do list, earn points for completing actions, and track your savings, all online. You can even post your story and learn from the experience of others. To get started, visit frederickgreenchallenge.org and click Take the Challenge.
Welcome back. We have a number of rabbits on our adoption floor right now. Smudge is not the oldest rabbit resident or the longest rabbit resident, But he is the only one who did not get altered recently. So all the other ones are recovering from their spay surgery. So we decided that we would go ahead and showcase Smudge for you. He is an incredibly cute rabbit. He's 11 months old, so still basically a baby. He is a lot mix, and he has a great silver and white color. He's color-coded green, and the color coding is the same kind of basically across all of the species. So it just means he's a little bit higher energy, maybe a little bit more squirmy when being held and things like that. But he was brought to us through no fault of his own. He was brought into a home, and it turned out that the son in the household was allergic to him. So they brought him here where we could provide proper care for him until we could find him another suitable home situation. His name is Smudge, but apparently his previous owner called him Smudge Pudge, and they only had him for about 8 weeks. Before they had to surrender him to us. They say that his favorite food is bananas, and he likes to run around in his room. So things that people need to be aware of when they're making rabbits part of their families. They do have special care needs, so it's not just they go in a cage and you just clean out the cage every once in a while. They need to be handled, they need to be socialized so that they are nice, friendly rabbits. They also need exercise, so they need to have time, in an exercise pen to run around and play. Otherwise, they can become overweight and unhealthy. They have special dietary requirements. They need their veggies. They need their hay and their pellets. You have to make sure that you're providing them with a safe environment because they are prey animals, so they can be fearful of things easily. You have to be careful with how you pick them up and handle them because they have very strong back legs, and if you're picking them up inappropriately and they kick really hard, they could hurt themselves. So you just want to make sure that you are definitely taking the time to research these types of animals before taking them home and making them part of your family. All of our rabbits here are adoptable for a fee of $50. That includes spaying or neutering them as well. Our first dog today is Scooby, and Scooby has definitely worked his way into my heart. I adore Scooby. He is a 7 to 8 year old pit bull mix, and he just loves to be around people. He loves to be around other dogs. He's just a great overall guy. I took him to Canines in the Vines recently, and he loved it. He greeted everything that approached our table. People, dogs. He was great with children. He was really great with small dogs too. He actually seemed to really enjoy the small dogs better than the bigger dogs. He's just a really affectionate guy. He's a dog that already knows sit, and I think he has down pretty well as well. He is so happy all the time. He has what we call happy tail, which means that his tail is wagging all the time like it is now. Now it's going into full helicopter mode there. And so it smacks on his kennel and it cracks his tail a little bit and it bleeds. So if you see you see things hanging on his kennel, those blankets are there to prevent his tail from smacking the wall and cracking. And if you see little bits of blood and things on his tail, that's what that's from as well. A lot of times in a home environment, that's not as big of an issue as it is here in a kenneled environment. Scooby, aside from being great with all living things, basically as far as we know, he has some skin infections, and that's what brought him here. His owners, took him to the vet. He has extensive medical records, but they were just unable to financially provide that care for him. So they brought him here to us so that we could help resolve those skin infections and things like that for him. It could be something that he deals with for the rest of his life, so you want to be prepared financially to properly medicate him and things like that. He does pull a little bit, but a harness helps. And sometimes after the initial excitement wears off, he walks a little bit better. So, just being prepared for that. He's friendly. He does jump up a little bit, but not a ton. He really is a pretty good dog. He just needs to find a loving forever home that's prepared possibly to deal with some medical issues moving forward. If you're interested in Scooby, then you could adopt him here for a fee of $72.50, and you can visit him here at 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Our next guest is Daisy, and Daisy is one of our rare blue color-coded dogs. Our blue color coding means that they are very easygoing, they're kind of calm, cool, and collected. In dogs, they're pretty well-mannered, they're not jumping up all over you, they're pretty good with other dogs, they walk nicely on a leash, they know some basics. In Daisy's case, she knows sit, she knows paw, she also knows down and stay, so she knows a lot of things. They tend to be dogs that are a little bit older, and that is true in Daisy's case. She's about 5 to 6 years old, we're estimating. She did come to us as a stray. She's definitely been owned by someone in the past, but unfortunately they did not come to claim her, so we're going to find her a new forever home. She is a shepherd mix. There are no requirements on who can adopt Daisy. Anybody could make Daisy part of her family. She should be fine with kids. She should be fine with other pets. She should settle in nicely. However, you do want to make sure that when you're taking home a pet, that you are, giving the pet the proper adjustment time. As a blue color-coded dog, Daisy probably won't need as much as others, but you also want to be respectful of the other pets in your home, making sure that they're properly introduced, that you're not forcing them together and just hoping, and praying that everything gets sorts itself out. You want to be a part of that, an active participant. You also want to make sure that any young children in the home understand that your dog is not a pillow, it's not something to sit on, lay on. You don't want to pull her ears and pull her tail, things like that, because even the best dog is only going to tolerate that type of behavior for so long. So you want to make sure that everybody in the household, including the new pet, is treated with a little bit of respect there. According to our behavior assessment of Daisy, she gets along with other dogs. She either reacts favorably when she interacts with them, or she has no reaction at all when she sees them. She's easy to obtain, easy to walk, no issues with food aggression. She wasn't interested in the toy when they tested her for object guarding. She leans in and likes to be petted. They did note that she keeps her kennel clean, but you do want to make sure that you're willing to do house training, because we never guarantee that any of our dogs are house trained. If you want to meet with Daisy, you can do so here at the shelter. Our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. This is Louie, and at 9 months old, he is just a big puppy. He weighs about 63 pounds, so he could get a little bit bigger, definitely fill out a little bit more. He is a handsome blue and white pit bull mix. Someone has cropped his ears pretty severely, in my opinion, so that's just his look now from now on. He was brought to us because his owners said that they just couldn't provide the best life for him, because he was sitting in a kennel for 12 hours a day, and that's just not fair for him. So they brought him here to us, where we're hoping to find him a great forever family. He is a very sweet dog with a lot of potential, but one thing he doesn't have yet is his manners. So he needs someone who's going to be willing to take him to some puppy classes, get him trained up so that he is just a little bit more polite, if you will. According to the people who had previously owned him, people are trying to look through the door, and so he's letting us know that someone someone new is around. So he's definitely going to be a dog that's going to alert you to when your friends and family are coming to the front door. They say that he is both house trained and crate trained. However, we never make any guarantees that is true. He's playful, energetic, a barker, jumper. According to our behavior assessment, we have found that Louie either reacts favorably to other dogs, or he play bows, gets excited. He's difficult to obtain. He's a strong dog. He's difficult to walk because he pulls and jumps. So that's something that a little bit of time in a puppy class could help to work with that. No serious issues with food aggression. He reluctantly gives up objects when asked, but he can be very grabby. So this is another one of those things where he needs to learn his manners. But he also really likes affection. He likes to be petted and things like that. Again, our staff's just saying that he's a good boy. He just needs his puppy classes so he can learn his manners. That's especially important for a young dog. It's a little bit easier if you start when, before they reach the 63-pound mark, but he's still very young. So, and he likes his treats. So that makes it a little easier when they're treat motivated. If you're interested in Louie, you can visit him here at the shelter. Our visiting hours are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturday from 10 to 4. Our last guest for you today is Chappie, and Chappie is about 1.5 years old. He came to us previously owned. Basically what happened is that the son who owned this dog moved away to Vegas, and the parents were unable to care for him. So once their son was gone, they went ahead and surrendered Chappie to us so that we could find him a new home. Chappie is a high energy dog. He loves to play. He's been really good with the majority of our volunteers here. However, we have decided that it would be best for Chappie to go to a home with adults only. Now that's for a couple reasons. First off, he can get really easily overstimulated and kind of whip his head around a little bit when he's getting petted on and things like that, and we don't want him to accidentally nip at a child or something like that. So we want to make sure that we're not setting him up for a situation where he's going to fail or where someone's going to get hurt. The other thing is that he can be a little bit intense about his food. He doesn't want people to take his food away. So he's been doing a lot better with that. But we, again, don't want him to be in a situation where he could fail. So we've had staff and volunteers working with him on learning that, if there's food involved, he's not going to get it, taken away necessarily. He's going to get other things in return. So it's okay when people approach his food because he might get something better, or he's going to get something else. So that's something that just being aware of, keeping an eye on that. He is also a leash chewer, so that's why he has the chain leash, so he can't chew through that. So, he is going to be a bit of a project dog. He has a lot of great qualities, but he does still have things that he needs to work on. He keeps his kennel pretty clean. He reacts favorably to most other dogs. Sometimes if they give a little bit, then he'll give a little bit back. So you just want to make sure that you're really committed to him if you want to make him part of your family. You can visit with him here at the shelter. The address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. We hope that you enjoyed meeting some of our adoptable pets today. You can always see them here at the shelter. We are open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, here at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. If you didn't see something that piqued your interest today, always stop in. And then, of course, next week we will be back to introduce you to more of FCAC's adoptable pets.
I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner. From the shores of the Potomac River to the foothills of the Catoctin Mountains, with all the farms and bustling communities in between, there's truly something for everyone in Frederick County. Come and explore Frederick County's rich history and be part of our bright future.